Welcome back, you're watching Overdrive. Now, Volvo has a reputation of making some of the safest cars in the world. In fact, they invented the seatbelt among a lot of other safety innovations. And now, Volvo's safety center in Sweden is celebrating its 10th anniversary, so Bert decided to take a trip down to find out just what makes Volvo so deserving of the safest cars in the world title. Take a look.
Gothenburg is a happy-go-lucky city, full of friendly people with a relaxed attitude to life. But one thing the Swedes take very, very seriously is safety, and that's what brings me to Sweden.
And then the steering column collapses.
Volvo, inventors of the 3-point seatbelt, and a brand that's synonymous with safe cars, is celebrating the 10th anniversary of its crash safety center. But before we could watch some real cars crashing into each other, we took a walk through Volvo's safety museum.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Right. I strapped myself in for a seatbelt demo before finally heading off to Volvo's crash test lab for the main event of the day.
Down the tunnel behind me, there's a new generation Volvo V70. It's going to come barreling down that tunnel at 58 kilometers an hour. At the other end of the tunnel, on the opposite side, there's the older generation V70, and that's going to come down the tunnel at about 62 kilometers per hour. And both of them are going to meet right at that spot in the center over there. In a few seconds now, you're going to see just what a crash feels like.
Watching a crash unfold in front of your eyes, even if it is only a simulation, is a breathtaking experience. Of course, it was all over in a flash, but the results of this crash and many, many others like this helps Volvo engineers build safer cars.
Well, the whole process, it's a huge process. A crash test like this, it's about a week or two in preparation. As you saw, the crash test is over in less than a tenth of a second, and then we have an additional 1 week or two to do the analysis of the actual crash. And then, of course, we need to gather other data. We look at our statistical database, which today actually contains more than 40,000 accidents involving Volvo cars in all types of different accidents with more than 60,000 occupants. And then, of course, we have the in-depth investigations like this, where we bring in the real cars. We ask to pull the medical records from the people that have been involved, and we can actually compare the actual dummy values that we see in our crash lab here with the actual injuries of the occupants in the real crash to further understand how we can improve our tools, how we can create new methodology, which then forms the base for new technologies that we need to innovate.
Next up, we headed outdoors to check out Volvo's new collision avoidance system in action. But someone forgot to tell the dummy behind the wheel that it was supposed to avoid the crash. Much to the embarrassment of Volvo's engineers.
This is real life. It's live crash testing. This is what is happening. This is our daily work here at Volvo Cars.
But that brought into focus the role played by the crash test dummy. Very different from the mannequins we see in stores and indispensable for automotive safety testing.
Well, I wouldn't actually call it crash test dummies. I would call them sophisticated measurement equipment. A dummy like used in this crash test can have up to 250 channels or from a crash like this, we can have up to 250 channels of data. So we record accelerations, forces, etc. all over the dummy. So the dummy is really a very sophisticated measurement tool. Each dummy here costs up to 100,000 euros. So it's a significant amount. And actually in our family, in our dummy family, we have over 100 crash test dummies like this in different sizes, from small children to large adults, for different purposes. If it's a frontal crash, a side impact, or a rear crash, they all look different. And they're designed to be able to measure and give measures that are not only accurate but are also correlated to the actual injury criteria that you see on the real human body. But you always have to remember that they're just a model of a human being.
The final crash test of the day was an off-road simulation to show what happens to a car when it is taken out of the lab and into the real world. Data retrieved from tests like this are then compared with real data collected from real accident victims, all in an effort to ensure that passengers can walk away from wrecks like this.
What you've seen are just 3 of the several hundred crash test simulations that occur here at this facility every year. This is the Volvo Crash Test Lab, and the knowledge gained from all those crash simulations has earned Volvo the distinction of making the safest cars in the world. Yes, that's a fact. It's not marketing speak, it's not brand spiel as such. That is a fact. Volvo has consistently been earning 5-star Euro NCAP rating for several of their cars in their range. And well, it's all thanks to this facility and the knowledge gained from here.